Hey guys, it's Phil coming back at you with another video. Today, I'm back. I'm excited. I'm pumped up. Hopefully, everyone's doing well, practicing self-care, not on one thought, one situation, one person. Take you outside of what you know to be true. You're doing the next right thing, not letting anything deter you outside, and doing everything that you possibly can to become the best possible version of yourself. And this video is going to be sharing a free study group that I have coming up this Saturday. But before we get into that, if you want to rep and rock with me in my paid study groups, the next Sunday study groups that are coming up are as follows. 924, DSM-5 adult, so going over the personality disorders, schizophrenia spectrum, bipolar 1 versus bipolar 2 disorders, and then practice questions related to those. And then the next study groups after that, I'm going to be changing the time from 7 p.m. Eastern time to 6 p.m. Eastern time to kind of accommodate and allow for people that potentially are working and cannot stay for the entire sessions. The next ones coming up are 10-1, Freudian theory, going over the psychosexual stages of development. Id, ego, and superego. We'll be going over the defense mechanisms and then practice questions related to those. The next one after that is 10-8, client interventions, going over individual therapy modalities, CBT, DBT, behavioral modification, solution focused, task centered, and then going over family therapies, Bowen, structural, and strategic family therapies, and then practice questions related to those. The next one after that is 10-15, practice questions, so going over the types of questions that you can see on the exam, myths about the exam that people will spread, the 6-step process that I recommend every single person to keep in mind as they're going through questions, and then going through tips that I find most helpful for people to keep in mind to go through the exam, to go on the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And then practice questions related to those. And as I always say, do not come to the session expecting to get every single question correct, because the questions I construct tend to be more difficult than the ones on the actual exam. So come to the session with an open mind and ability to learn, to understand what you're doing and what can be helpful to build yourself up to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. The next after that is 10-22, stages of grief, Maslow's, and conditioning. So going over different ways to not memorize anything, but ways to be able to recognize and apply it to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And then going over practice questions related to those. And these Sunday study groups are recorded, so if you're not able to attend live, when you register, you'll be sent the recording as well as the materials to review at your own leisure in your own pace. So regardless of whether you attend at all or not, as long as you register, you'll be able to review the session at your own time and in your own pace. And if you want any information related to the Sunday study groups, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, which is the view more under the title, which is my calendar at fillinthegaps.as.me, as well as the next thought-provoking Thursdays are going to be on 9/21, 10/5, 10/12, and 10/19. And the thought-provoking Thursday sessions are sessions that are specifically going over application and reasoning type questions, not ways to memorize anything, but ways to be able to recognize and apply it, but also be able to differentiate through different thought processes and not having you just jump to buzzwords or shortcuts or anything like that. And again, these questions tend to be more difficult than the ones on the actual exam. So do not come to the session expecting to get every single thing correct, but understand how and why you're doing the things that you're doing to continue growing and becoming the best possible version of yourself, to go in the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And if you want any information related to the thought-provoking Thursday sessions, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, which is the view more under the title, or go to my calendar at fillinthegaps.as.me, as well as the next one-day course is going to be on September 30th. And the one-day course has been the most successful thing that I've ever done because it's allowing for you to get the most amount of time with me, the mixture of different topics that you can see on the exam, and then giving you tips and strategies and techniques to build yourself up, to combat second guessing, to overcome any self-doubt that you're having, as well as going through difficult practice questions. So the one-day course is going to be on September 30th, start at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and it's going to go 12, 13, potentially 14 hours long, depending on how things go. And the session is recorded, so if you're not able to attend live or able to attend the entire session, it's 100% possible to review the recording and the materials at your own pace in your own leisure. And the one-day course goes over the tips that I find most helpful to keep in mind as you're preparing for, as well as going into the exam and kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. Most common reasons why people fail the exam, because what better way to learn what not to do than from people that have failed the exam before. A mixture of topics: subpoena versus court order, operant conditioning, stages of community organizing, the personality disorders, schizophrenia spectrum, bipolar 1 versus bipolar 2 disorders, the medications, the acronym, safety, feelings, assess, refer, educate, advocate, facilitate, intervene. Also, going through the 6-step process that I recommend every single person to keep in mind as they're breaking down questions, and then going through difficult practice questions. And as I always say, do not come to this session expecting to get every single thing correct, but understand how and why the things that you are doing to better inform yourself to go into the exam, kick it directly in the chest to get the job done. And if you want any information about the one-day course, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com or click the link down below in the description, which is to view more under the title, and go to my calendar at fillinthegaps.as.me. And if your exam is prior to September 30th, it's 100% possible to reach out to me and purchase a previously recorded version that we did last month. So again, I appreciate every single one of you guys that are repping and rocking with me. And if you haven't already, go to my Audible affiliate link at www.audibletrial.com/fillinthegaps. Sign up for the 30-day free trial. It's an easy way to rep and rock with me and to support me, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And Audible is an easy way to get information on the go. So if you're busy just like me and you still want to become the best possible version of yourself, Audible is an easy way to do so. So you can support me by going to my Audible affiliate link at www.audibletrial.com/fillinthegaps. Sign up for the 30-day free trial and get yourself a free book. There are a couple of books that I would recommend. You, The Alchemist, The Power of Habit, and The Archer. Different things are going to be allowing for you to get lessons and blessings, not just in your life professionally, but also personally, become the best possible version of yourself. And if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button down below, which is the thumbs up button, and it allows for other amazing social workers just like you to rep and rock with me as well. Leave a comment down below if you're planning to come to the free study group on Saturday, anything that you're going through or anything that is going on in your life. As well as, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell notification next to it, because it sends you an email every single time that I upload a video. And if you haven't already, check out my podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify at Fill in the Gaps. And as I stated, the free study group is going to be this Saturday, 9/23, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Time until however long that we need. And the free study group is going to be having people that have won in the exam, kicked it directly in the chest, and got the job done, come in to share their experiences. But also, if you're feeling anxious, you're feeling nervous, you're not sure what to do, you failed the exam, or you just want different pieces of information or have questions for me, then attend the session, because anyone that has a question or wants to directly interact with me and you've not been able to come to the study groups or tutoring sessions, that's the easiest way to be able to do so. Again, the session is going to be on 9/23 at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and how you register is by going to my calendar at fillinthegaps.as.me. And once you do that, and I'm going to walk you through the instructions just now, but that's how you're going to be able to do that. Just go to my calendar at fillinthegaps.as.me. So once you go to my calendar at fillinthegaps.as.me, you're going to scroll down to the free study group tab, and this is the calendar that holds all the other study groups that I have. But if you're only interested in the free study group, click the book. There's only going to be one date, the 23rd, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. But if you're in a different time zone, you can change your time zone to whatever that is. I'm in Eastern, so it's going to be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And select and continue. Enter your name. And for those that do not know, my name is Phil Luttrell. Enter your email. My email is berda24@gmail.com. And then after that, check that your information is correct, because you'll receive a initial confirmation, 24-hour, 48-hour reminder email, a complete appointment. And then once you do that, this is going to be the link for the session. So if you're worried that you're not going to be able to get it, just click that, copy it, and then you're A-OK and squared to go. And then that's all you're going to have to do, because you're going to get a 24-hour and 48-hour reminder emails. So again, you go to my calendar at fillinthegaps.as.me. You're going to click the free study group, hit book, select the only date that's available, 23rd. Change your time zone if you're in a different time zone than Eastern. Enter your information, enter your email, make sure your email is correct, and then from there, you're A-OK and squared to go. So it's pretty easy on how to attend. And like I said, the free study group is going to be for individuals that are feeling unmotivated, they're unsure, they just want to directly interact with me and to get feedback on what they've done, or they're not sure where to go. As well as, we're going to have people that have gone on the exam, kicked it directly in the chest, and got the job done, come back and share their experiences. So hope to see as many of you as we possibly can in that session. But based on that, we just have to remind ourselves that is going to be a different session than we normally would see, and there's going to be different pieces of information, because a lot of times people are like, man, Phil, I thought this was going to be a lot more practice questions, or man, I thought this was going to be a lot of content, and it's not going to be what the Sunday study groups are, because the Sunday study groups are pieces of information that are going to be helpful as we're looking at topics as well as practice questions. And we will look at a couple practice questions in the free session, but it's not going to be primarily based on it. It's going to be different than the Sunday study groups and the thought-provoking Thursdays, but it's just a way for me to give you guys an avenue to be able to process and as well as to connect with me if you're not able to get into individual tutoring or even the Sunday study groups. Is just a way for me to kind of give back. And again, like I said, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate every single one of you guys, and I'm going to try my best to help as many people as I possibly can, and just keep doing the next right thing. And I know things are difficult for people right now. I know a lot of people are struggling. I know a lot of people are doubting themselves. I know a lot of people are tearing themselves down, and they're unsure where they want to go or what they should be doing. And that's where my biggest recommendation is to really remind yourself of why you're doing this and what this means to you. And I know it's like, well, that's a thought-provoking question, or man, that's a little deep, but you need to get deep sometimes and find out what this really means. And I've been interacting with a lot more people that are like, man, Phil, I'm failing the exam and I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or man, Phil, I'm giving up life things in my day-to-day life, or I'm sacrificing my self-care, I'm sacrificing a lot of things in my life to pass this exam, and it's not paying off, and then I'm beating up on myself, and I'm guilting myself, and I'm shaming myself for not doing the right things. And that's why I always tell people, like, this exam should be a part of your life, not your entire life. And I promise you, when you pass the exam, it's going to mean a lot to you and the people around you. But if you're not to that point of passing the exam, the people around you are not guilting and shaming and blaming you or tearing you down as much as you're tearing yourself down. And why I say that is because I interact with a lot of people that are like, man, Phil, my boss is going to be mad at me. My partner's going to be mad at me. Me and my child's going to be mad at me. Or, man, my friends, or all these different people are judging me and shaming me and blaming me and thinking I'm a terrible social worker, or they're guilting me and all these things. And there may be people that are in your life doing that, but you have to remind yourself that if no one in your life is doing that, but you're doing it to yourself, you're still getting to the same result as if people around you are doing that. And again, I'm not naive to the fact that negative self-talk is a thing. I'm not naive to the fact that social workers tend to kick their own butts. I'm not naive to the fact that some of us have trauma experiences. I'm not naive to the fact that people oftentimes are going to be motivating themselves by guilting and shaming and blaming and pressuring themselves. But at the end of the day, if that's where you came from, and if that's what has worked for you in the past, but you notice it's not working for you anymore, you want to cut ties with what you thought was going to be helpful for you and live the life that you've envisioned for yourself. And what I mean by that is, if you don't have a reason for why you want to do this, or if you don't have a purpose, or you don't have a drive behind why you want to get this done, it's going to be easier for you to blame and shame yourself, or give up on what you think is going to be right. And a lot of people are like, man, Phil, I failed the exam before, so I don't want to take the exam again for fear that I'm going to fail it again. And it's like, if you don't risk failing the exam, you don't risk passing the exam, because if you don't take the exam, you have no chance of passing the doggone exam. And if you don't take the exam, you don't have a chance of failing the exam. But it's a continuum that it's you have to accept the good with the bad. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times people are like, I'm going to reschedule my exam because I don't feel ready. And my first question is, what are you going to do in the meantime that is going to involve you getting better, even though the only thing that dictates whether you pass or fail is the actual exam? And a lot of times people don't realize that a practice exam or a practice question or this or this or this or this outside of the exam is not going to determine whether you pass or fail the real exam. So that's what I'm telling you. Have a purpose and drive behind what you're doing, but don't lose focus on what's important to you. Because if your family and the people around you are important to you, or if you doing self-care, or you exercising, or you praying, or you doing interactions with friends, or you doing all these different things is important to you, and you've not been doing those things, you're not going to be as whole as somebody that has been doing self-care and also including the things into their life versus letting this exam be your entire life. And I get it. The exam is important. Don't get that twisted. This exam can unlock a lot of doors for you, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be your entire identity. You are going to be licensed, but you're also going to be a father. You're also going to be a parent. You're also going to be a friend. You're also going to be a partner. You're also going to be an advocate. You're also going to be a representative. You're also going to be an individual. So you have to remind yourself, being a social worker, yes, it is a part of our identity, but it's not our entire identity. So if you're feeling down and unmotivated and beating yourself up, or you didn't pass the exam and you're questioning everything that you've ever done, you don't want to throw all of what you've done away because of one event in your life. And that's why you always hear me say, don't let one thought, one situation, one person, or anything take you outside of what you know to be true. Because people fail this exam and then they start doubting what they've been doing with clients. People fail the exam and then start doubting themselves as an individual. People start failing the exam and then they start doubting everything they've done up to this point. Like, man, what was my education for? Man, what was my honors for? Man, what was this for? What is this for? Well, again, it is a piece of your equation, but it doesn't negate the entire equation. Just because you fail the exam doesn't mean that you're a failure as an individual, or a failure as a social worker, or a failure as a partner, or a failure as a spouse, or a failure as an advocate for other individuals. So that's my push for you, is if you're feeling down and unmotivated, find a purpose for what you're doing, but also discover where some of this is coming from. Like, where's this negativity coming from, and where's this beat up coming from, or where's this like degrading or shaming coming from? Because if you're going to come into this situation and degrading and shaming yourself and telling yourself that you're going to fail regardless of what you do, regardless of what happens in the exam, you're going to shut up and fold like a deck of cards or a lawn chair and start packing up and getting the heck out of there. But if you remind yourself, as a social worker and as an individual, I have to give myself the same grace I would give another individual. I have to give myself the same empathy. I have to give myself the same ability to not be perfect. And it's okay to not be where you want to be. But what is not okay, you to lose who you are in that moment. Because it's not what you do that makes you who you are. It's who you are while doing it. It's who you are as you're reacting to a situation that's not going well. So if you're not in a state of you supporting yourself, you're not in a state of being your own advocate, there's nothing I can say, there's nothing your support system can say, because anything that we tell you or anything that you get introduced into your life, you've already made up your mind that it's wrong, or that you need to guilt, blame, shame, degrade in order to fire yourself up. But all you're doing is extinguishing your flame and stoking the fire of everyone else. Because if you wouldn't say what you're saying to yourself to somebody you care about, you have no business saying that. And why I say that is because if you're degrading and shaming yourself but empowering everyone else around you, you're ultimately living in a situation where you feel like you're an imposter, where you're not being accepted just for what you're doing for other people. You're being accepted for who you are and what you bring into the situations as an individual. So the results were never the most important thing. The most important thing is you representing who you are, and the most important thing is you representing and living a life that represents specifically what's important to you, what's aligned with your values, what's aligned with what you want to do in the future. Because what you're doing today is going to determine what you're doing in the future. So if you're beating up on yourself and writing a diss track about yourself today, what do you think you're going to be doing regardless of what happens in your life? It doesn't matter what you accomplish. You're going to be throwing a diss track at yourself, or degrading and comparing yourself to whoever the heck knows. But if you don't value what you do or value what you accomplish, don't check out and just be looking for the next thing. Embrace what you've done leading up to this moment. You sacrificed too much to not celebrate. You sacrificed everything to get to this moment. And if you could go back and ask your previous self what they think about what you're doing right now, they would be so proud of you. But you've lost sight of what you thought was important because of all these ancillary things. Or, man, you looking at what, but you got to reflect on where you came from and what you've done up to this point. And what was the reason for why you've made the decisions you've made. So don't let one thought, one situation, whatever that is, take you outside of what you know to be true and what is valuable to you right now. So that's my push for you, is if you lost yourself, or if you're not sure who you are, you're not sure if you should continue doing this, why did you start? Like, why did you start? It's a lot of work to get you where you've got. It's a lot of work to make the sacrifices you've done. It's a lot of work to continue going. But it's also a lot of work to recreate yourself if you never get to who you once were. It's a lot of work. So regardless of the amount of work that you put in, make sure the work that you're putting in is going to make you become who you want to be. Make sure the work that you're putting in is getting you closer to who you ideally wanted to be. And making sure that the work that you put in is representative of who you are. And make sure the work that you're putting in is leading you, and you're seeing that there's some benefit to the work you're putting in. Don't just get productive, but produce what is going to help you become the best possible version of yourself. Because way too many times I'm hearing people, man, Phil, I'm studying the maximum, but I ain't getting nothing out of it. But then what was the purpose of you putting in those times? Well, I just wanted to punch the clock and hopefully that it would pay off. Hopefully, we don't need to be hoping right now. We need to be doing things that are intentional and deliberate and specific to you. We need to make sure that what you're doing is actually where you want to go. We need to make sure that the time you're putting in is worth whatever you're getting out of it. Because the only way to have experience is to experience something at some capacity. But if you don't value the experience that you're having, or if you don't value the situations you're in, or if you don't see the lessons and blessings from where you're coming and where you're going, you're just going to be going through it versus growing through it and doing what you need to do. Because in order for you to grow, you have to show yourself what's valuable and know that what you're doing is leading you to where you want to go. But if you continue to recluse, or if you continue to shut down, or if you continue to self-police, or if you continue to restrict, or if you continue to degrade, you continue to shame, you're forever going to be in a trauma cycle of, regardless of what I do, I'm never going to be valuable. Regardless of what I do, I'm never going to get there. Regardless of what I do, I'm always going to be second best or never significant. But the problem with that is, if somebody's looking at you and thinking that you're valuable or you're worthy, or they're seeing things in you that you're not seeing in yourself, you got to put yourself on reflection mode and say, you know what am I missing, and what am I not seeing, and what am I degrading and shaming that people are celebrating? Like, what am I degrading and shaming that other people are celebrating? What am I degrading and shaming that other people are celebrating, and that they're seeing value in me that I'm not seeing that as being valuable because somebody once upon a time, or this over here, that over here, saying it's not valuable? I don't care the opinion of one person. I care the opinion of yourself, because the only thing that is going to determine how you view yourself is how you actually talk and how you produce and how you actually act on what you think about yourself. So that's my push for you. Find a purpose, but if something's tearing you down, degrading and shaming, or if you have something that's deeply rooted into you, cut ties with it. Because the only way to undo whatever has been done in the past is to do something different. The only way to cut ties with it is to undo it and create a different knot that is going to continue producing and make you not do those things in the future. So it's not perfection. It's progress we're looking for. So if you're doing something and you're making progress, but you're not valuing the progress because it's not perfect, you got to say, who am I chasing after? What am I trying to do? And what's the purpose for what I'm doing? So that's my push for you. Find your purpose, value yourself, identify what you're not actually valuing, and start building yourself up. Because the only person that can go on the exam with you is yourself. The only person that can build you up and stoke you up is yourself. The only person that can continue to support yourself is yourself. So get back to who you were. Get back to what's important to you, and get back to what you value. And if you're not doing things that you value, or if you're not seeing the purpose, or you're not getting what you want to, or you're not getting closer to who you want to be, you got to really get back to where you once were. And the only way to do that is to reflect and identify, what am I doing, not just for this exam, but what do I need to do for myself? So hopefully that was helpful for at least one person. And again, I'm going to keep trying to do my best, and I'm going to continue trying to grow to become the best possible version of myself, and try to do as much as I can for you guys. So hopefully to see you guys in the Saturday group, hope to see you in the Sunday groups, hope to see you in the thought-provoking Thursdays, hope to see you in individual tutoring, hope to see you at some capacity, even if you're just sharing my name. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you guys. Without you, there's no me. And again, just know that I can't put it into words how much I appreciate you guys, and how much you guys' support, and how much all this means to me, because I never imagined we'd get to this point. But the Fill in the Gaps community is repping and rocking and killing the exam every single day. They're becoming the best possible versions of themselves, and they're empowering other people and growing to become their best possible version of themselves as well. So that's my push for you. Continue doing the next right thing, and even if you don't see the results, or even if you don't think that what you're doing is valuable, do it anyway. Because at the end of the day, if you're hearing positive feedback, or if people are seeing things inside of you that you're not seeing inside of yourself, there may be something that you have to undo and have to redo in order to get into the situation to continue growing to become the best possible version of yourself. So again, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate every single one of you guys. I love you guys. You need anything, drop me a shout, send me an email. I'll try my best to do anything that I possibly can. I'm getting out of here, guys. And just know, I'm continuing to do the next right thing, and we have a month away from the baby being here, and that's going to be a huge experience for me. And I'm just excited. I'm just overall excited. I'm humbled. I'm grateful. I'm looking for the lessons and blessings and everything. And that's why I'm challenging you guys to do it. Continue embracing whatever you think may be a stressor, or continue embracing whatever you may not find value in, because you never know if it's going to be valuable until it's gone. But don't be that person that's like, you know what, I wish I could have I'm going to do it right now because it's valuable. And if it's on my mind, it must be something that's important to me. From the bottom of my heart, appreciate every single one of you guys. I love you guys. I'm getting the heck out of here. I'll see you guys in the next video for a practice questions video. And we'll just keep repping and rocking. I love you guys. Take care. Be safe. Keep building yourself up. Do not let one thought, one situation, one person, or anything take you outside of what you know to be true. I'm getting the heck out of here, guys. And peace out, guys.